Hello and welcome to A Game of Two Halves, the sports news show run by the students of the University of South Wales. My name is Dylan McIsaac and later I'll be joined by Sam Hill to talk about the year in Welsh boxing. But first, here are the latest headlines. More than 20,000 women and girls are now registered as football players according to the FA of Wales. This follows the country's qualification for UEFA Euro 2025. FAW Chief Executive Noel Mooney called the milestone a hugely proud moment for Welsh football. European rugby returns this weekend, with all 4 Welsh regions in action. The Scarlets host Bristol in the Champions Cup tomorrow, with Ospreys hosting Connacht and trips to France for the Dragons and Cardiff in the Challenge Cup on the weekend. And tomorrow is set to be a big day for MMA fighter Yohan Harris. The Swansea brawler will make his Cage Warriors debut in Newcastle against George Staines this weekend. He has a record of 5 wins and 2 losses. First on today's show, we pay a visit to St Fagans as the Museum of Wales opens up a new exhibition celebrating a century of women's sport in Wales. Ethan Harris reports.
2025 has been the year of women's sport in Wales. 2 major international tournaments, a whole host of golden moments, and now an exhibition in honour of those who have made it. This display at St Fagans in Cardiff is a co-creation between Women's Archive Wales and Amgueddfa Cymru and celebrates a whole lifetime of women in sport. There are already a few pieces of sporting memorabilia here at the National Museum of History, but this, as part of the Women in Sport Wales initiative, is nothing short of extraordinary, an illuminating collection of how women's roles in sport have changed since the early days. In fact, around 28 women in sport have been profiled in this exhibition, ranging from household names to some you may not have heard before, from autographed shirts to full-on swimsuits. This room is entirely dedicated to the history of women's football in Wales, from the pioneer days in the early 70s to the trailblazers of the 90s and 2000s, and the current golden generation is very well represented too. Of course, there's more to the history of sport in Wales than just football, and behind me, the second exhibition here contains just a microcosm of that. We have rugby, we have swimming, we have taekwondo, we have cricket, we have cycling, all going to show the contribution that women have made to the history of sport in this nation. The exhibition was placed here last Thursday and is here for the entirety of December, giving a perfect chance for those to send off another great year for women's sport in the country.
Now we talk Newport County. New manager Christian Fuchs has a tough task to save the struggling Exiles. But what did the fans think of this appointment? Ethan Harris caught up with a few to find out.
After 12 years in England's 4th Division, Newport County have survived quite a few attempts, but this one could be the most precarious of all, with a big challenge for the Amber Army. The Exiles sit at the foot of the English Football League, and there is a mammoth task for new manager and former Premier League winner Christian Fuchs.
And yeah, it's top. I mean, the changing room, I love it. You know, this is where you want to be. This is where everything happens. And honestly, I can't wait to be here. For the players to be on the pitch, for the fans to cheering, for the players to support them. That's exactly what the players need right now, right? We need the support of our home fans.
At the moment, the only Christmas gift County are receiving is the ignominy of being bottom of the EFL. But with a busy festive season ahead, it is now imperative for the Exiles to kick on after a traumatic and eventful 2024. Even the most adamant of County fans have had their stomachs turned by the form book this year, but there is still a belief amongst the faithful that it can be turned around.
Thoughts on a new manager? Obviously a change was needed. Whether he's got the experience as a manager to turn the fortunes around remains to be seen.
My thoughts on the new manager? Well, we're all just going to give him his best support because we need something to change. We need it to change quick.
Well, if anything sums up the last 18 months or so at Newport County, it's this place behind me. It used to be the officially sanctioned pub on match days for the Amber Army, but Bar Amber, as it was known, closed down a little over a year ago. And now, with the appointment of Christian Fuchs, Newport are hoping that their Football League ambitions don't go the same way as this building behind me.
Right, so Christian Fuchs, our new manager, his first home game today. Personally, I'm feeling quite confident that he will turn things around. From his interviews this week, the one on Wednesday, he certainly enjoyed his start and has confidence in the players. My own personal thought is if we can tighten up in the back and take more chances up front, we stand a chance of another great escape.
An interesting appointment, very little experience, okay, for League Two. However, I understand that, he is bringing in some investment into the team, which is, what's needed.
Very sad to see the last manager go. I thought he was a very decent person that
yeah.
just couldn't get that team to play. So I hope he really does well in the future, and I wish him the best. As for this manager, all the best wishes for him. I think he's a bit unproven, but that could still work, and I hope it happens.
3 was clearly the magic number for County. 3 wins at home in 2025, 3 managers in 2025. But a few more 3 points could potentially put the cat amongst the pigeons in a League Two relegation battle.
We now head to one of Wales' most successful rugby schools, the Welsh-speaking Ysgol Glantaf, and hear from their head of development, Clywach ap Myrddin.
The building behind me has produced no fewer than 9 Welsh rugby internationals and a slew of talent for the regions in the country. And today I'm here to meet the man who makes it all happen.
So I got involved in 2015. So I was a hub office down in Swansea, and then the job came out in Glantaf, and I was excited. It was the Glantaf were recruiting to get involved in such a brilliant rugby school. Obviously, rugby has been the main sport here, and there's a huge rugby culture here, right all the way through from year 7 onwards. Kids know they're coming into school to a big rugby school, and we play a lot of extracurricular, a lot of training, and passionate, dedicated teachers. Really, we've got a good system in place to allow those kids to play. Yeah, so we've got a good link with our primary schools, so very good primary schools catchment as well. And then obviously coming into year 7, we'll have A, B, C, D teams, so 4 teams in year 7 and year 8. And then it goes to about 2 years, 2 teams in year 9, 10, and then 11 and the 6th form, there's 2 teams there as well. It's the rugby culture, the rugby mindset. We play a certain way. It's quite important to us, the Glantaf way. We play rugby the right way. And kids coming into school know that before stepping foot in year 7. And I think we've got dedicated PE staff, probably tripling the hours that we should be doing. That is generally mainly because we do before school, lunchtime, break time, after school. So our day starts at 7, finishes 5:30. So we do work extremely hard, yeah. And that shows then, obviously, the passion that rubs off on the kids then. It means something to us as obviously staff. We've been doing rugby league, mainly just to develop the aspect, the contact area and tackling side of stuff. And again, opportunities to be travelling up to North England and playing those type of sides, total different game. So it's we try and give them as much opportunities as possible to play, basically. We are a Welsh school, and I think we are setting the barrier. It's not like it's a minority. We are setting the barrier for rugby provision in Cardiff, I think, and again that's part of our culture. The rich history in terms of that's laid before us in terms of PE teachers, great PE heads of PE. That's laid the rugby foundation. Is hopefully we're just carrying the baton now, and then we'll pass it on to the next staff and the people involved.
I'm now joined in the studio by fellow third year Sam Hill to discuss the year in Welsh boxing. Sam, give us a quick roundup of the year.
Yeah, so there's been lots of great fights on the small hall and up. It's been a quieter year. I think the first fight that I'd say absolutely caught my eye this year would be Willie Gilhaney. Had an absolute doozy, 2 Welsh title fights in the same year, different weight classes. First and foremost against Ethan George, upset to win that one, and then again against Carvel Crocker later in the year, which was billed as a 50-50, and he absolutely wiped the floor with him in that fight. So really impressive from Willie Gilhaney overall. The other one I would say is Harris Khan. Panat Harris Khan had a massive career-defining opportunity in the ring to fight on the GBM tournament, Heist tournament. Unfortunately, he lost in the first round to the eventual winner, James Osborne, but it's the kind of event, the kind of money, the kind of fight that's going to put him in good stead going forward to have a a great 2026. And then the other third interesting thing is Lauren Price, boxers Lauren Price and Reese Edwards. The two of them have been tied up with some of their issues, losing their Sky deal. So neither of those two fighters, the Prince and the Queen of Welsh boxing, have fought this year, unfortunately.
Thanks for that, Sam. Here is what ahead on the next programme.
The Bluebirds proved last weekend that even without Cole Will on the side, they can get results.
Without volunteers, it wouldn't be able to go ahead. It would not be able to go ahead.
Comparing the start of when I was at Cardiff to now, I'd say I've definitely become more confident.
Our fans are the heartbeat and the other lifeblood of this club.
Now, there is plenty of talent here at the University of South Wales, as discovered when we caught up with second-year student Jamie Preston to talk about his sporting love.
I'm here in Newport to meet second-year student Jamie Preston. And judging by the background, no prizes for what his main passion is.
A regular morning at Rodney Parade, just another EFL stadium in the eyes of many. But for Jamie, this place is nearly a cathedral.
Started coming down here in 2017. My grandfather got me into it. I was a Liverpool fan before, still am pretty much because of the family blood, but county's just always been the way for my family. My dad and my granddad used to go down to Somerton Park in the 80s and 90s, used to get lifts off John Aldridge, could you believe it? But yeah, it's just been a family thing ever since the early 80s sort of thing.
It soon became clear that there was one particular event that influenced Jamie's life as a football fan.
I think it was the Leicester City game, really. Obviously, going into that game, we were massive unfavourites, with Leicester being former Premier League champions, but somehow we pulled off the absolute miracle. Ammon's penalty. I was sat just over there in the Hazel, one of the better experiences as a county fan, as well as that hosting Wrexham and Manchester United in around the same week, really. Beating Wrexham and just missing out on beating Manchester United was an amazing experience.
However, there's more to Jamie than just his beloved Amber Army, as he soon revealed.
My first sporting memory would probably be Jenson Button winning the 2009 Formula One World Championship with the Braun GP car after dominating that first half of the season, and then I don't really know what happened after that, but I was 5 years old, I was playing with Lego sets on the floor, just watching F1.
Plenty of great sporting memories, and hopefully a few to be made in the future.
And finally, the game of futsal is growing in popularity in Wales. The country now has its own league, and Ethan Harris went to Cardiff's House of Sport to see what all the fuss is about.
It's a sport that divides opinion, but it's certainly on the rise here in Wales. Welcome to the world of futsal. The biggest professional league in this neck of the woods is the FAW Futsal League South. Tonight, I've come to see two of the four Cardiff-based teams in action, but there are also teams in Swansea and Newport to close. The sheer amount of noise you hear on the court, it is very similar to basketball or netball or any indoor sport really, because there is a klaxon at the end of every half and the whistles, the sheer force is deafening. Now, some of the biggest names in football have actually started in futsal. Even Lionel Messi was rumoured to have once began his playing career here. But one thing is for certain, the FAW are sure they won't let another generation of talent, well, slip through the cracks.
That's just about it from us here on A Game of Two Halves. We'll be back at 1 o'clock, but you can view all our shows on USW SJTV. From myself and the rest of the team, goodbye.